The next World War won't look like anything we've seen before. Forget tanks rolling across battlefields and fighter jets dogfighting in the sky. The weapons being developed right now in classified facilities around the world are so advanced, so fundamentally different, that they seem ripped straight from science fiction. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on secret military technology that could reshape warfare forever. From invisible energy beams to swarms of AI-controlled drones, these are the weapons you've never heard of that could define World War III. Let's start with something that sounds impossible. Weapons that fire invisible beams of energy at the speed of light. Directed energy weapons, or DWs, have moved from experimental labs to active deployment, and most people have no idea they exist. The U.S. Navy's laser weapon system, known as LAWS, can silently disable drones, small boats, and missiles without firing a single bullet. Unlike conventional weapons that require ammunition, these laser systems only need electrical power. Imagine a weapon with unlimited shots, perfect accuracy, and the ability to dial its intensity from disable electronics to melt through steel. That's not the future, that's now. But lasers are just the beginning. High-powered microwave weapons can fry the electronics of entire enemy formations simultaneously. The Air Force's Counter-Electronics High-Power Microwave Advanced Missile Project, or CHAMP, can fly over enemy territory and knock out all electronics below it without harming a single person. In one test, CHAMP disabled 7 different computer targets in a single flight. Think about the implications. An entire military base could be rendered useless in seconds, with all communications, weapons systems, and vehicles simultaneously disabled. China and Russia aren't sitting idle either. Reports suggest both nations have developed their own directed energy systems, some mounted on ships, others on ground vehicles. The concerning part? These weapons leave minimal evidence. There's no bullet, no explosion, no debris, just sudden, catastrophic system failure. In a future conflict, entire battles could be won before anyone even realizes they're under attack. Now let's talk about speed, specifically, weapons that move so fast that current defense systems can't stop them. Hypersonic weapons travel at Mach 5 or faster. That's over 3,800 miles per hour. At these speeds, they can strike anywhere on Earth within an hour. What makes hypersonic weapons truly terrifying isn't just their speed, it's their maneuverability. Traditional ballistic missiles follow predictable arcs that defense systems can track and intercept. Hypersonic glide vehicles, however, can change course mid-flight, weaving through the atmosphere in unpredictable patterns. It's like trying to catch a bullet that can dodge. Russia claims its Avangard hypersonic glide vehicle can reach speeds of Mach 27. That's over 20,000 miles per hour. China has tested the DFZF hypersonic glide vehicle multiple times, and the US has invested billions into programs like the AGM-183 RRW. These aren't prototypes gathering dust in laboratories. They're operational or near-operational systems that fundamentally change the calculus of deterrence. The problem for defense planners is simple. Detection to impact time is measured in minutes, not hours. Traditional early warning systems that gave decision-makers time to respond become almost useless. If a hypersonic weapon is launched from a ship 1,000 miles away, you might have less than 6 minutes from detection to impact. 6 minutes to verify the threat, make a decision, and respond. In that time frame, automated systems become necessary, and that raises a chilling question. Are we comfortable letting computers make split-second decisions about starting World War III? Speaking of automation, let's discuss the most controversial weapons being developed: fully autonomous killer robots. We're not talking about remote-controlled drones with human operators. We're talking about weapons that select and engage targets completely on their own. The US military is developing swarm technology where hundreds or even thousands of small drones operate as a collective intelligence. Each drone might be cheap and expendable, but together they become an overwhelming force. Imagine trying to defend against a swarm of 1,000 drones, each capable of independent decision-making, adapting in real time to your defenses. Shoot down 10, 20, even 100, it doesn't matter. The swarm adapts and continues its mission. Turkey's Kargu-2 drone reportedly became the first autonomous weapon to attack humans without direct human command during the Libyan civil war in 2020. The drone uses AI to identify and track targets, making its own decisions about when to strike. Israel's Harpy is another loitering munition that can patrol an area for hours, autonomously hunting for enemy radar systems. But the real game changer is the integration of artificial intelligence into every level of warfare. AI systems can process battlefield information millions of times faster than humans, identifying patterns and threats that would be invisible to human commanders. The U.S. Project Maven uses machine learning to analyze drone footage, automatically identifying vehicles, buildings, and even individual people. China's military is investing heavily in AI-powered command and control systems designed to outthink human opponents. The terrifying aspect? Once AI systems become sophisticated enough, human commanders might become the bottleneck. In a conflict where milliseconds matter, there will be enormous pressure to let AI make decisions autonomously. We could be sleepwalking into a future where wars are fought at machine speed, with humans reduced to spectators in conflicts they can no longer fully control or comprehend. The next weapon on our list is invisible, silent, and might already be embedded in your infrastructure right now: cyber weapons. Modern militaries don't just train soldiers and build tanks. They develop malware, exploit software vulnerabilities, and pre-position digital weapons in enemy networks. The United States and Israel demonstrated the devastating potential of cyber weapons with Stuxnet, a computer worm that physically destroyed Iranian nuclear centrifuges by subtly altering their operation. The brilliant part? The Iranians initially had no idea they were under attack. They just saw equipment mysteriously failing. Russia has been accused of penetrating U.S. power grids, planting malware that could black out cities in the event of conflict. China allegedly conducts ongoing operations to map critical infrastructure, identifying vulnerabilities that could be exploited during war. And the U.S. Cyber Command has openly discussed developing capabilities to shut down enemy networks preemptively. In a future conflict, the first shots might not be fired from guns or missiles. They might be lines of code that simultaneously disable power plants, water treatment facilities, financial systems, and communication networks. Imagine waking up to find your city has no electricity, no internet, no functioning hospitals, and no way to call for help. That's the reality of modern cyber warfare. Electronic warfare takes this concept into the physical realm. Advanced jamming systems can create electromagnetic dead zones where nothing works. No radios, no GPS, no data links. The Russian Krysuka-4 system can reportedly jam aircraft radar, satellite communications, and even AWACS early warning systems from over 150 miles away. In a conflict zone saturated with electronic warfare, modern precision-guided weapons might become no more accurate than unguided bombs, and coordinated military operations could become nearly impossible. Now we venture in a territory that sounds like conspiracy theory, but is actually documented military research: environmental and exotic weapons. Weather modification has been explored by militaries since the 1960s. During the Vietnam War, the U.S. conducted Operation Popeye, cloud seeding missions designed to extend the monsoon season and disrupt enemy supply lines. Today's research has moved far beyond cloud seeding. Nations are investigating ways to trigger earthquakes, redirect hurricanes, or create localized extreme weather events. The technology exists to modify weather patterns. The question is how far various militaries have taken this research in classified programs. There's also research into more exotic concepts: plasma weapons that create temporary barriers of superheated gas, acoustic weapons that use sound waves to incapacitate or even kill, and particle beam weapons that fire streams of subatomic particles. While many of these remain experimental, they represent the far edge of weapons research where the laws of physics become the only limit. The weapons we've discussed today represent a fundamental shift in warfare. They're faster, smarter, and more destructive than anything previous generations could imagine. Many operate in domains, cyber, space, electromagnetic spectrum, that didn't even exist as battlefields a few decades ago. The unsettling truth is that we've only scratched the surface. The most advanced weapons systems remain classified, known only to a handful of defense officials and scientists. What we do know suggests that World War III, if it ever occurs, will be unlike any conflict in human history. It might be over in hours rather than years, decided by machines rather than soldiers, and fought in ways the public won't understand until it's too late. The question isn't whether these weapons will change warfare. They already have. The question is whether humanity can develop the wisdom and restraint to ensure these weapons of tomorrow never become the tools of humanity's last war. If this video opened your eyes to the secret world of advanced military technology, make sure to like, subscribe, and share.